Welcome to Consciousnexus.
This is our episode about Monsanto. Michael Taylor,
little bitch boy.
Alright, check it out. We broke it down for you. Completely did many researches. And we think you should check this video out with your family and your friends in front of a fire. Goodbye.
Welcome to Consciousnexus.
But we need the FDA. So now what the FDA is doing and why they feel so compelled to protect you, they will arrest you if you start drinking raw milk and you happen to cross a state border. What is so dangerous about you making your own choice about whether or not you can drink raw milk? I think we ought to vote for the right to drink raw milk.
Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize the government does not give a fuck about them. Government doesn't care about you or your children or your rights or your welfare or your safety. It simply doesn't give a fuck about you. It's interested in its own power. That's the only thing, keeping it and expanding it wherever possible.
Welcome to Consciousnexus.
Senate Bill 510. This would grant the U.S. government the authority over the public's right to grow, trade, and transport food, making home gardens ultimately illegal.
Is that true? Home gardens?
Well, I don't know if it said that, but I think I wrote that because I think that's what that means.
Welcome to Consciousnexus.
Ridiculous. So the Food Safety Modernization Act was passed in the Senate already.
And will now be passed along to the House.
I suppose. Can't be sure that's how I remember.
Well, I don't even know where to start, Smokestack. It's a never-ending web of corruption.
Earthling, you're telling me.
This bill, I mean, it seems like it's just sort of the very tip of a huge iceberg of persecution against the American people and in regards to their food rights.
Persecution against the American people and in regards to their food rights.
What's going on with these farmers now? You went to a rally to support a farmer.
Yeah, Vernon Hershberger was a rally up in Baraboo, Wisconsin. He doesn't even own he doesn't own the cows. He doesn't own any of the animals. He provides a place for people who buy animals. You know, he provides a place for the animals to live, the cows, whatever it may be. And the service of, you know, milking the cows and whatever else. I don't really know. I've never, I have no experience on the farm. So anyways, that's generally how it works. He provides the service of just, you know, taking care of the animals and rendering the milk. So, they've targeted people like that. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. No, actually, I got some raw milk and illegally transported it across state lines after we signed the Declaration of Food Independence. And I drank it for a week and a half, and it was great. It felt really good, actually.
What do you think Michael Taylor has to say about that? Your raw milk consumption.
From what I've heard about Michael Taylor, I bet he'd like to get me alone in a dark room and do some terrible things.
To your milk.
To my milk.
That man wants your milk.
That man wants to take my raw milk.
Being around a bigger city, you wouldn't really come across people like this too often.
I believe I have a quote by the judge. We can check it.
In the Vernon Hershberger case?
The one you went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wisconsin judge. You have no fundamental right to own a cow and consume its milk. Am I making myself clear? I just wrote down because it seemed I was just gonna say it all sick and then like a mean person.
I can actually just say it and just write out the sarcasm anyway. We can just put a cool effect on it.
No fundamental right.
You should have seen just the pure goodness that, you know. Will you not fuck with that, please?
It's
Come
not
on.
gonna break.
No, listen, it's already coming apart. Seriously.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my Ghostbusters bracelet.
But eating food the government doesn't approve of is very dangerous.
And that's what they're trying to say. And you've got a bunch of guys in suits walking around smiling and saying they understand, and you know, but you know, what if one of these local raw milk purveyors decides to go crazy and spike the milk with anthrax, you know?
Well, it's not even that. It's
no, it is about their control too. They don't want you to be able. It's the whole thing that everyone wants.
If somebody
to hurt
at the
each other.
if the FDA approved milk factory puts anthrax in it, is that what you're saying? Are you saying a local guy?
What? No, I'm saying it.
What about it? What about the real factory? Anybody can fucking dump poison in your milk.
I know. I'm not. I'm saying that's the lie. That's
okay.
Same as they gotta search you at the airport.
That's a really good lie, dude.
Every last person. Every last person at the airport, whatever. Dude, you're ruining the show.
I know you. What are you saying? Take it back. Say it again.
The lie that people are out there trying to hurt each other when 99.99% of people aren't trying to hurt anybody else.
When it comes to rights, I think one of two things is true. I think either we have unlimited rights or we have no rights at all.
TSA at fucking football games.
And it has to do with this
TSA at
lie.
the Kentucky Derby.
You know, that theoretically you get your raw milk from this guy who isn't approved by our people, because everybody knows that government employees are the best employees. So if it's not approved by government employees,
then you know, they might be doing anything with it. Who knows? They definitely don't have the motivation to keep themselves in business or feed their families, you know. That would be crazy. This guy might do anything with the milk. I don't even want to drink raw milk. I don't even really give a shit. But I think no, I think it's fucked up that these people live off of it and believe in it, and some government agency is going to try to take it away from them and put them in jail over it. That's one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard.
You should care.
That's why I went to Wisconsin to support Vernon Hershberger. That's why I'm going again when he goes back to court.
Yes.
Because fuck that.
You should care about what happens to people who have the same rights that you supposedly do.
Exactly. Because when it comes down to eating what I eat, and they take that away and put somebody in jail over it, then I'm gonna damn well care, huh? You know?
what do you care? That guy's like over there.
What's my interest in that? They're putting a guy in jail for milking cows. What's my fucking interest in that? Fuck you.
Armed raids.
He's
on a
not
guy fucking pulling on teats.
He's not getting off on it. He's not fucking cows. He's not forcing this
when did
on
this
anyone.
start?
He's not forcing it on the cows. The cows like it. They're uncomfortable unless you milk them, from what I understand. So, I mean,
why are they doing this?
All right, so this is a new thing for us on Consciousness. We're gonna open the lines up. We're gonna invite listeners to call in, weigh in on today's issues. The number is 4 2. So
Texas. As always, this is Smokestack
and The Earthling
coming at you with 150,000, 100 billion, million
volts. Right now, we're gonna unveil a new segment here in the second episode of Consciousness. We're gonna tell you all about someone who's better than you. You. Alright, so Michael Taylor in 1976 worked as a staff attorney for the FDA until 1981 when he began to work with the King and Spalding law firm representing Monsanto, which is a biotechnology company.
In 1991, he returned to the FDA to fill a newly created position Deputy Commissioner for Policy.
Sounds like a good job.
1994 to 96, he worked for the USDA as the Administrator of Food and Safety and Inspection Service.
He later returned to Monsanto, where he was the Vice President of Public Policy. Another pretty good job. Until July 7th, 2009, Barack Obama appointed him as a senior advisor to the FDA Commissioner. Otherwise known apparently as the, what is he known as?
The food and safety czar.
The food czar?
Food czar.
What the hell is that?
Czar. 2010, January 13th. Was appointed to another newly created position as Deputy Commissioner for Foods.
This guy seems to get a lot of jobs created just for him, doesn't he?
He certainly does.
He's just one of those guys, I guess. And you know what's weird about him? The videos I've seen, he doesn't seem to be very charismatic. He doesn't seem to be very engaging or interesting, does he?
He's like a really good robot.
He's a very good robot.
Very good robot indeed.
I think I even saw something somewhere about Monsanto having a department for mind tactics on the government.
So anyways, though, Michael Taylor, so he's back and forth from the FDA to Monsanto to USDA to Monsanto to FDA. I don't suppose he's made any friends along the way that are helping him out a little bit, huh? You think he's the type of guy that's willing to play ball?
Somebody who works for the most controversial food manufacturer in terms of like what its products do to you, because they're supposedly horrible. The allegations are outrageous, and him being in charge of the government branch that's supposed to stop things like that is outrageous.
Their whole existence is predicated upon the public being unaware of what they're doing.
You can't find something good about them.
If everyone knew what was going on with Monsanto, they'd be out of business in a heartbeat. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, but we put up with a lot, so who knows? So Michael Taylor is directing the FDA to go after Amish farmers, raw milk co-ops, basically independent food producers. My allegation would be that he's working for higher powers, interested in coercing the public to only be able to shop at big box stores and forced to eat GMOs, take in fluoride, and every other poison that they try to shovel into you.
I would take it one further and say he's trying to eliminate humanity's ability to self-sustain and depend on themselves.
So we are, I know lines are open. We're going to get to the callers as soon as we can. I know we have Nate in New Lenox, Brian in Peoria, Tracy in LaGrange Park. We're going to get to everybody.
Are completely jammed.
We're going to get to as many people as we can.
We're going to try this.
You know, let's just take a call.
All right, do we have somebody?
now.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Brian. We got Brian in Peoria. Thanks for calling in, Brian.
Phones are ringing off.
Once again, the lines are jammed here.
Yeah.
Hey, you're live on Consciousnexus. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, thank you. It's wonderful to be had.
Hope you didn't have too long of a wait on hold because our lines are jammed. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
You're calling in from Peoria?
Yes, and I have 5 minutes and 2 seconds of hot shot, all you got action.
What does that mean?
4 minutes and 51 seconds.
Okay. What do you know about Monsanto?
Monsanto, I'm a stockholder. I know a lot.
Do you know anything about what they do?
Corn. They've got third generation mutations of corn. They're feeding the world, doing God's work, but this guy named Travis that is an engineer and works in the lab. But it is God's work. God's just Travis now.
What kind of God's work?
Feeding the children.
Oh, okay. Where, in Africa?
Fueling them ethanol trucks or something.
So you're aware. So you're aware of this company, right?
And what they do.
Monsanto has fields all over. Their test fields are all over. They're in Louisiana, Illinois, everywhere.
The point.
22. Let's wrap this shit up.
The point is.
Well, like 30 seconds.
The point is that the more we're looking into Monsanto and their history, the more evil they're seeming.
Oh, I know. I've known this for a long time. My aunt gave me money to buy socks, and that's one of them that I bought. This goes back to like 8th grade. So, yeah, I'm very well aware that they've been mutating shit. I don't know if you're trying to get at their government ties or whatever, but I was more interested in how they're mutating corn, and I think that there's repeat problems that come from it.
That's bad too. Yeah.
Giant-ass corn. They're making some giant-ass corns, and I remember about 5 years ago, I actually read one of the things they sent for the proxy votes, and they were very proud that they had their 3rd generation mutated corn, which was pretty creepy. That it was a mutant of a mutant of a mutant. It originally was corn.
Yeah, the thing about the government ties is that this guy, Michael Taylor, who's been one of their like main insiders for years and years since the mid-'70s, is now the head of the FDA, and he's leading the attack on independent food producers, the raw milk stuff I was talking about before, and Amish farmers and stuff.
My time span is over, so I'm going to wrap it up with this while this shit loads. I'm going to say, yes, they're a corporation that grows food-ish products, and they have ties to government. But what's more creepy is you'll see commercials for not a company, but just a type of food. You'll see commercials for pork. It's the other white meat. And what, are the pigs paying for this? Like, yeah, come on, eat us. Here's a bunch of money to put ads on TV. Or eggs. It's what's for breakfast or shit. And milk, it's good for you. Just name the foods that are on TV make me weirded out, because that's just weird.
Corn now, too. You've seen the new corn ones, right?
Maybe. Alright, but now this shit is loaded up. I'll give you a call in like 35 minutes.
So Monsanto, wait, I was making a thing. So Michael Taylor of Monsanto, of the FDA, of the USDA, obviously friendly with major players in Washington, as well as in you know, the corporate world, has also written some documents, and had them released through a supposed think tank known as Resources for the Future.
RFF.
Originally, what was the initial funding? Was from the Ford
initial
Foundation.
Funding came from the Ford Foundation. Or no, was it the Rockefeller Foundation?
No, the initial funding in 1952, right, was from the Ford Foundation.
Okay.
So the Rockefeller Foundation, though, did end up funding the essays or whatever, the documents that he wrote about health in Africa, or
no, about helping agriculture and African agriculture and helping them a lot.
Right.
And I'm sure it has to do with Monsanto.
So what do you know about the Ford Foundation?
I know that they're a CIA front group. It's like they fund almost everything the CIA wants to fund. They fund it through that, and then, you know, wipe their hands of it. It's fucking sick.
Hey, we're getting another caller here. I understand we have somebody.
3.
4, 2. So, hello, Tracy from LaGrange Park, Illinois.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
That doesn't sound like what a person sounds like when they call a radio show. Okay, let's say goodbye. All right, hey Tracy, that was a great call. I hope our next caller is as wonderful and as engaging as you, and you sound hot.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on.
What do you think about this, Tracy? It's come out recently in a few major news publications that at the Monsanto laboratories, the scientists have demanded that their cafeteria not serve foods that have been genetically modified. The foods that they develop, they refuse to eat. So what better judge than the scientists that develop these foods to tell you they refuse to eat them? What do you think about that?
Right. I mean, I think that makes it pretty clear that no one should be eating it. Did you know that they had the House of the Future at Disneyland in
I want to do one more.
60s, and when they went to knock it down, they a wrecking ball bounced off it and shit because they didn't even use it was all made of plastic, and so they couldn't, nothing would destroy it, so they didn't even use anything that was biodegradable in their House of the Future.
Okay, thanks for calling in, and we'll...
Well, I knew the number because I'm from the very slight future.
We don't have a lot of time for that.
Hey, I was calling about Monsanto.
Okay, thanks for calling in, and we'll hopefully hear back from you soon. Good luck with your fight against the T-Mobile store in your town.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's so... let me see. It's it's on the surface. It's not like you have to do tons of research to find out this guy is a piece of shit. It's right there.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's so hardcore. I'm surprised he's not in prison right now, today, put in prison. But that's exactly why we're here doing this, because people like this don't get put in prison. Michael
Taylor has been a big part of Monsanto in the past 20 years or so. So let's talk about Monsanto.
All right.
So what kind of company has Michael Taylor? Let's just say, so Michael Taylor has obviously invested a lot of time, energy, obviously made friends, obviously has spent a big part of his life with Monsanto, and now he's in a very high position in the FDA. To me, it sounds like he's the boss, basically.
He's the guy who could make things occur in reality.
He's the czar.
The czar.
So what kind of man? What kind of man is he? Well, let's talk about Monsanto. Let's talk about the company that he spent most of his professional career outside of the government with. And I say outside of the government, that I use that term pretty loosely here, because Monsanto outside of the government
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's really only a
government thing.
It's really only a technicality. So we're talking about the company that made Agent Orange.
Right.
We're talking about the company that made Roundup.
Right, that's their biggest seller, I guess.
A chemical that does what?
Kills every other plant except for the ones they genetically engineer.
Yeah.
The highly controversial aspartame is Monsanto.
So this is a company... So in 1902, they manufactured their first product, the artificial sweetener saccharin. Interestingly enough, they sold it to the Coca-Cola company. The U.S. government later filed suit over the safety of saccharin, but lost. The U.S. government filed suit and lost.
Government don't lose.
Wait a second.
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 Government don't lose.
Wait a second. They were also producing caffeine and vanillin.
Where?
So they were just beginning to turn a profit in 1905, but already had strong ties to the Walt Disney Company and Coca-Cola. So something was going on here already. So they began making aspirin in 1917.
When it comes to rights, I think one of two things is true. I think either we have unlimited rights or we have no rights at all.
So they found in 1926, because environmental policy was governed by local governments, Monsanto decided to found and incorporate their own town called Monsanto, which is later renamed Sauget.
Sauget, Illinois. Sauget, Illinois.
Sauget, Illinois. So
we're live.
They also produced PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls. PCBs, it was considered to be some kind of industrial wonder chemical, an oil that wouldn't burn. It had supposedly limitless applications. Is now considered to be one of the worst chemical threats on the planet.
Some experts say there is no acceptable level of PCBs.
There is no accepted level.
acceptable level.
No accepted level of PCBs.
PCBs.
Hang on, wait. So here's... This is funny, too. The World Center of PCB manufacturing was Monsanto's plant on the outskirts of East St. Louis, Illinois, which had the highest rate of fetal death and immature births in the state.
Holy shit.
PCBs has been demonstrated to cause cancer, as well as a variety of other adverse health effects on the immune system, reproductive system, nervous system, and endocrine system.
Internal company papers show that Monsanto knew about the PCB dangers from early on. In Anniston, Alabama, discharges from the local Monsanto plant meant residents developed PCB levels hundreds of thousands times the average. For nearly 40 years, while producing the now banned industrial coolants known as PCBs at a local factory, Monsanto routinely discharged toxic waste into a West Anniston Creek and dumped millions of pounds of PCBs into oozing open pit landfills. You know, and then they end up doing research on uranium for the Manhattan Project. Monsanto did research on uranium for the Manhattan Project. They produce sweeteners. What is this company? What?
Sweeteners, herbicides,
pesticides, genetic engineering,
and then they test uranium or something. Yeah, they test for.
Who are they? What are they working towards? What is this company working for? What is this company trying to do? You know, or what? So back to the Disney connection. Monsanto was the creator of a few attractions in Disney's Tomorrowland. The House of the Future. It was not biodegradable, interestingly enough.
I don't want no organisms eating my house.
This stuff about Monsanto, it's too expansive to cover. I mean,
it's too much. It's 100 years of fucking horrible.
This goes on and on. It is. It's 110 years. It's 110 years of mind-blowing attacks on humanity. Right? I mean,
assault on the environment.
It's an assault on life.
Either way, the ongoing theme in the New World Order and population reduction and just soft killing the public, so you know they can get rid of everybody. It's been everywhere, but I've never realized the mode. And well, I did, but I mean, who's in charge of it is like Monsanto and the FDA. They're the only people that have the power to take over these things.
It keeps leading back to Monsanto and the FDA.
That's right. How else would they accomplish soft kill, if not to get these chemicals that do so into us somehow? And they all have to be approved by the FDA. And who's in clear control of the FDA?
Michael Taylor.
And he works for?
Well, he worked for Monsanto. So, I mean, a clearer conflict of interest probably could not be found. Whoa, it's time to take another caller here on Consciousnexus.
Hello. Phone's blowing up off the hook over here again, Smokestack.
Alright, we're gonna take another caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Yeah, we got Nate on the line from New
He
Lenox.
didn't tell us that yet.
He told the producer.
He told the producer. Okay, I don't got the screen. Hey, what did you tell me the other day? What do you know about Monsanto, Nate?
We're live on the air.
They're just, I can't remember.
You were telling me they were part of. You told me something they were. You said Monsanto's involved in some Codex something.
Oh yeah, Codex Alimentarius. Yeah, Codex Alimentarius. It was originally made up by some German dude. I can't remember his fucking name. Probably because of all the genetically modified food I've been eating and the fucking cloned animals, deliciousness, and fluoride in the water. It's created by a German guy. German scientists that they picked up after they took over Germany. Monsanto is a part of Codex Alimentarius, where the UN or any sort of world government organization, whichever they had planned to make, which was the UN, they decided they were going to take control of all distribution of vitamins. They were going to try to make vitamins illegal, so people can't get their nutrition. They can just run everything. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what time period are you talking about?
Right after World War II. So about 1945, 46 is when they started writing up Codex Alimentarius, and then they came out with the United Nations because the League of Nations didn't fucking fall through.
Right. Well, people figured the League of Nations out, and they had to
Take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, right?
Forward and 1 step back, right?
Right, which is actually strange because the UN is actually 10 leaps forward. If you notice, all your textbooks are written by the UN. They're, if they're not recognized by the UN, they're not allowed to be used in a public school. UN runs our army. It's pretty funny. We have to go by, it's even getting to a point to where our businesses have to meet UN standards, which is, Monsanto. They totally back the UN agenda.
So this is, when you're saying,
Well, it's a document that was written.
That's a document, okay.
It's on the internet. You can look it up and find out about it yourself.
So they wanted to control the vitamins. Is how it's written?
Well, it's not only just vitamins, but it's also dairy products, meat products, anything that you consume.
Anything nutritious, right?
Yeah, anything that you can consume that is nutritious. It's no longer about controlling the money. So you have like the IMF, the World Banks to control the money. Now you got to control the food, and they're going to do that through the means of Codex Alimentarius. And every nation has to meet through the UN. The code that's in Codex Alimentarius. It says the Codex Alimentarius is a threat to the freedom of the people to choose natural healing and alternative medicine and nutrition. Ratified by the World Health Organization and going into law in the United States in 2009, which is already passed.
Holy shit.
The threat to health freedom has never been greater. This is the first time of a series of talk by Dr. Rima Labo, MD, available on DVD, so go peep that shit, from the Natural Solutions Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to educating people about how to stop Codex Alimentarius from taking away a right to freely choose nutritional health.
He said it was just passed in 2009.
That's another thing about it. If you notice, they're trying to completely get rid of, I don't know if you've heard, but there's been a lot of cases where a child has cancer and doctors are trying to push chemotherapy on kids and shit like that with cancer.
and people are saying no. I want to find out about alternative means to cure my kid's cancer, and
they throw them in jail.
They're going to jail, or they're being sued by the doctors, and the courts are basically forcing, whatever the doctors say the kids have whatever treatment they need. That's what's happening right now. On top of that, at farms, they're shutting down farms that where you can get straight milk, non-processed, non-pasteurized milk.
Yeah, we know all about that.
Yeah, we've heard about that.
Right. It's all part of the Codex Alimentarius.
Is it?
Yeah. That's why it's being done. And if you notice, they're also trying to put a stop to generic medicine,
Really?
So, say Xanax. If you're a company that makes an alternative to Xanax, they're going to try to get rid of you. You know what I mean? Or antidepressant pills, if they're trying to get rid of...
So complete control over everything that your body will encounter.
Exactly.
So what do you think, like, Monsanto could be, like, their driving force for this plan?
Yeah. I just went on to codexalimentarius.net. It says, welcome. The Codex Alimentarius Commission was created in 1963 by FAO and WHO to develop food standards, guidelines, and related texts such as codes of practice under the joint FAO and WHO Food Standards Program. The main purpose of this program are protecting health of the consumer and ensuring fair trade practice in the food trade, and promoting coordination of all food standards, work undertaken by international government and non-governmental organizations. Complete control is basically what they're saying, and this is coming straight from, the demon itself.
So that's like their website.
This is Codex Alimentarius' website.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you think that's enough? But so we got to make it seem like you called here.
So do like a...
Cool.
That's our trick.
All right, boys. I'm going to get off here and I'm going to go watch some pornography. The last great thing of the internet.
Here, put it on me. Put it on me.
What? Okay, we have another guest here in Consciousnexus. My cat Ren is calling in from the living room. Ren, how you doing? Yeah, and what do you know about Monsanto? They did? Well, I didn't know you worked for them. And what about your pension? No? I can't believe that. That's another thing we should talk about. 101.1 in Chicago, FM news station.
It took over like the last decent radio station in the city. Turned it in.
That was Q101 was not a decent radio station.
There was nothing else.
You liked listening to it?
Nothing else except for like old stuff.
To me, it was the same as anything else. It was pop music. Yeah, we've nicknamed it the New World Order News. It seems to be largely corporate propaganda. I've heard news stories on there about how McDonald's isn't that bad for you. I've heard hey, that was the best on so that's 101.1 FM in Chicago. They ran a story before the Super Bowl where they had a lady on talking about why you shouldn't get up during the commercials when you're watching the Super Bowl.
People take a lot of time.
Yeah, she says these major ad agencies from around the world have spent a lot of money and pooled resources to make the best ad experiences possible for the consumer. So instead of getting up to go to the bathroom or instead of talking or turning down the volume, you should really pay attention to the commercials. And at my house, I even like to make a game out of it. I pass out a little survey that I print off my computer that asks people, what their favorite commercials are, the funniest commercials, the most effective, and why. That was a real story on 101.1.
And look at these products.
Yeah. And you know what? While the commercials are on, if you start to drool down your chin, don't wipe the drool off. Let your friends gather around and drink it. if your brain begins to liquefy and ooze out of your ears, don't worry. That's just a sign that you're really enjoying the commercials.
You shouldn't pay it any attention at all. Just let it.
Can you believe they ran a news story about why you should watch the commercials?
And they do all this. I've been listening to it too. They just say all this nonsense while swinging from like Derrick Rose's balls and just yell like the stupidest things ever and just mention the Bulls every 5 seconds.
Hey, Chicago, Derrick Rose's balls hurt.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in tomorrow's game.
Oh no.
That's really important to you.
But he knows how to put the ball inside that hoop real good.
Hey, did you see that sports guy? Wait, we just had a sports guy recently in Chicago who was probably the greatest man who's ever lived in the history of the world. He was throwing his ball. No, the guys with their stick couldn't hit it at all.
No, not at all.
I heard not one guy with a stick could hit it.
He threw it
the whole time.
He threw the ball, and they didn't hit it with their stick the whole time. And the whole time, I mean, the 3 hours he was throwing it that day.
That's something we should be proud of as a community.
I think the governor should make a holiday out of it.
Hang on a second. Wait a second. I'm getting something right now. My scientists have just told me that the government did actually create a holiday. What's it known as?
The Humber Day.
The Humber Day.
Bill Humber, or maybe I'm just making up Bill.
We shouldn't even say that motherfucker's name.
No, or he'll throw a ball right past our sticks.
No, we shouldn't say it. We shouldn't say his name because he's a fucking
Cubs and Sox. If I have to hear like another like little smug ass fucking little like battle of wits tournament between two people about like who's better and why, or not even that, just making comments for the sake of making comments.
You know, so and so, he was at AAA and he did this and that.
Not even that. It's like
this exchange of numbers and facts
not the numbers, like
that
the
they're so
Cubs and
satisfied
Sox
by.
feud.
Oh, that thing? Oh my God!
Sox are just like, oh, he's a Cubs fan. Ooh, like 10 people. Like, come on, shut up. The Dominicans that wear that outfit are good, and the Dominicans that wear that outfit are bad. Whatever.
That is an interesting aspect of professional sports too. Is like how I mean, in some sports more than others, but sometimes you've got a whole team of guys that really, most of them aren't from anywhere near here.
No.
And how do they represent your city? Well, so let's talk about that. So the real issue isn't any of the natural aspects of sports. Playing sports is great. We both really like to play sports, actually.
Yeah, sports is fun.
We both actually like.
You do it.
We both like to watch our friends play sports. Actually, we were supposed to go to a hockey game tonight, and we're missing it.
Sucks. We missed a hockey game.
I forgot about that till just now.
Yeah, me too.
But we both like sports a lot. The problem is professional sports in our country.
And the symbols.
That's really all our problem. Yeah.
So I was delivering a pizza. I delivered a pizza to a man, knowing that this no-hitter was about to occur. Last inning, last 3 outs, whatever. And I was forced to stand on a porch for 5 minutes while the guy inside finished up watching it. And I knew when it was done because he made like the most horrendous sound ever. Like I could. Like somebody was sticking a fire poker in his ass. Like, oh, I'm gonna try it.
And then 2 seconds later, he opened up the door and proceeded to buy his pizza off me.
Did he ask you about the game? Did he say anything about it?
No, he was sweating bullets. He was in it. He was in the zone. He didn't give a fuck about nothing.
As all these people feel some sort of personal victory,
right?
When that happens,
and they do. They do feel it's not. They do. They actually do. I think somehow.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember.
Well, like I said, do you think he does that? Do you think that guy fucking makes those noises when he sees his wife naked, or when he like gets a $300 bonus at work, or if he
right? Yeah.
What does he do? Does he ever have that enthusiasm for his own life?
Right. Yeah.
Ever.
Hey, good. Yeah. If he has some personal victory, he
right.
Yeah. Right. But that tribal war cry comes out of him when his Dominican pitches. Well, actually, I think that was a white guy.
Yeah.
But when anyways his representative plays a good game. Well, I mean, when you're here's the other thing too. A lot of people that don't remove themselves from mainstream culture and the poisonous aspects of it, because we're not recluses. We enjoy being around people for the most part, you know. But when you remove yourself from the influence of mainstream media and things like that, you start to look at this as so bizarre that people get so focused on a game. And I think most of them would even logically acknowledge, oh, it's just a game, but it's much at the same time,
how can you?
It fosters real emotions in them somehow.
You go into a bar and you when somebody scores, everybody goes bananas.
And that's real pounding on tables. It's real screaming. It's real emotion.
Right.
You know
what happens when you get a speeding ticket? You just shut up and keep to yourself.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't you know?
And then half the time people say thank you when the guy gives them a ticket.
Oh, thank you, officer, for not fucking taking all of my dignity, because they will. And you gotta thank them for that.
Yeah, thank you for not taking me out of my vehicle against my will and putting your finger up my ass or some shit.
Searching my car against my will. You're a slave.
Fucking perverts.
Anyway,
animals.
Yes, this whole thing is really weird and has to have been studied, and if not, should be.
No wonder so many married women are feeling like the dominant force in their household, because their husband, instead of being a man and affecting his community in a positive way and working towards the progress of humanity, spends his time worshiping some other men for their feats of strength. It's very homoerotic and weird. It is.
This guy's so much better at me than that. Oh yeah.
And because of females and the females of our species have such a natural ingrained on the for the most part, not all of them. There's defects everywhere, but for the most part, the females of our species have such an ingrained sense of nurturing and progress and fostering of a better state of being for humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so they have that naturally ingrained, and they naturally see the professional theater of sports, the theater of professional sports. They see it as contradictory to the progress of our civilization, and they're right, and they see it as stupid.
It could be in there somewhere,
except for the whores.
Oh no, the whores love sports.
Yeah, but so you don't want to do anything else?
What do you want to do?
Well, we should. Yeah, that's
all right. In conclusion,
no, we're not there yet.
No, we're not there.
So we're doing. This is.
Let's just reject the idea of forced help. That just doesn't make any sense.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Just reject the idea of forced helping.
Yeah.
I'm here to forcibly help you. Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Forcibly helping me? Yes, I am. And you better shut up.
People don't really generally don't have a problem asking for help when they absolutely need it.
Right.
And they shouldn't. And you shouldn't have a problem giving someone help when they really need it. You know? I mean, but
if somebody's forcibly helping you, they're not actually.
You ever got off the train at Union Station and had a guy tell you, "Oh, where do you need to go? I'll get you a cab. Here. Do you need a postcard? Do you need this? Blah 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 blah. You need this? Let me help you this. Let me help you with this. Let me help you with this." It's the same fucking concept.
Right.
People that are forcing help on you.
Like a mobster.
Are looking for something in return.
You need protection over here.
You better fucking believe they're looking for something in return.
That's right.
Yeah. Why should we be living with systems of laws that are endlessly complicated and hard for the average person to understand when they're meant to represent the average person?
Right. When a man on a log is sitting there on a log drinking some raw milk and he gets SWAT teamed,
yeah,
that's fucking bullshit.
Basically, and you should know that as a decent human being.
If you're sitting there next to the man on a log drinking milk, and the SWAT team shows up and arrests him. I mean, wrong. You know that. You don't have to. You're right. You know it. You're right. I agree. You are no longer welcome to Consciousnexus.